YouTubers, time for another vinyl collection, record collection update video. It is Sunday afternoon, the October 4th, and I'm going to show you some records that I've got recently and that I've listened to, most of them, and my thoughts about them. First of all, yesterday I went to a store in Stockholm at Odengatan called, well, that's close to Odenplan for those of you who know Stockholm, and it's called Runtrunt, and that means in Swedish, it's Swedish and it means round, and of course, I guess they mean the shape of most of the records that we play on our gramophones. First of all, I got hold of this record here. It's an album from 1970 on the Buddha label. It's with a singer called Dorothy Morrison, and it's called Brand New Day. And I have to say, it's a very appealing sleeve. But I thought that the name sounded familiar when I found this record. But, well, Dorothy Morrison is of course a very common name. I didn't get much. Well, I wasn't really lucky when I searched for information about this singer, but she is a soul singer, or soul-gospel. This is like a mix between soul and gospel, but it's very appealing, I have to say, with great musicians like, well, David Spinoza on guitar, among others. And I'm very happy that I found it. It's very nice, and good-looking girl too, I have to say that. Good singing girl too. Oh yeah. Then I found this motion picture soundtrack from the movie Sällskapsresan, music by guitar player and composer Bengt Palmers, who was the producer, I think, of Hooked on a Feeling with Blue Swede, that was on top of the US lists in 1974. This is the music, the original music for the very popular Swedish comedy called Sällskapsresan by Lasse Åberg. It was so popular that there are more movies made in the same style, although many would say that this is the best one. Also, this record has a very good soundtrack with the original music by Bengt Palmers in the samba style and in the Spanish style, and I mean, altogether very well composed. And but the funny thing is that this, even if the movie was incredibly popular, this motion picture soundtrack must have sold quite badly, because you rarely see it in the stores today. And today it's quite sought after, but by me too, but now I got a copy. Yes, I've been showing a lot of records with Alias Regina lately, because I'm really in love with her artistry and her voice and her everything. This is a record that maybe in other countries you're not that familiar with this, maybe not with this sleeve. This has been issued in Brazil with a totally different sleeve, and I think another name too. But it's a collaboration with Alias Regina and Toots Thielemans, the Belgian guitar player, whistler, and harmonica player, and a great entertainer, all in all. They made this album together, and it's recorded here in Stockholm at Europa Film Studio in February 1969, produced by another Swedish keyboard player, accordion player called Göte Wilhelmsson. This has been issued in other countries as well, but this is the original, the first Swedish issue. I've seen Dutch issues where it says Alice, they have their whole names written out here, Alias Regina and Toots Thielemans, but this is the first one from 1969. And I mean, who doesn't love Toots? Most of us who have heard him love him. And Alias Regina's voice, just perfect. So I'm very happy I found it. Not that incredibly difficult to get hold of in Sweden, because it must have sold quite good, but sometimes quality sells. sometimes. Now I'm going to show you a legal record, a bootleg. This is a bootleg of the album LoCola by the Swedish group LoCola, a symphonic prog group. This was issued on the Annette label in 1975, just 1,000 copies, and they were sold out immediately. The group was on the edge of disbanding when this was recorded, and I think they disbanded shortly after the record was well finished. But we have, among the good musicians here, we have the later journalist, the late Hannes Råstam. This is, as I said, it's an Italian bootleg. Quite well made, though. I mean, the sound is quite good, and I really like the musical content too. I mean, both the symphonic prog style. Sometimes it's a bit of Jethro Tull. Sometimes it's a bit of Deep Purple, and we have many Swedish lyrics written by some great poets of the past, like Gustav Fröding and Elmer Diktonius, and also they've written some of their own lyrics as well. Maybe not that strong, but still well worth looking for. I thought first when I saw it that it was a reissue made by the Swedish record company Mellotron Records, who have reissued quite a lot of good prog music. But it isn't. It's an Italian group called Mellotron without the E at the end. But I really hope that this gets a proper reissue treatment, because the original is so incredibly rare and so incredibly expensive when you find it. So for those of us who aren't made of money, this will have to do for now. But for future record store day issue, have a look at this, please, record companies. Issue this. It's so great, and it deserves a proper reissue. Right, then we have this lady, Vivian Reed, Brown Sugar. And I didn't know anything about her, but I have to say I like the cover, and I thought, well, this looks interesting, might be good. And I have to say it is. Apart from the tune that the last track of side one, Solid Rock, that just keeps going on and on and on, that's not that interesting. But this is very good funky, soul-y, disco-y, good mix. From a singer and artist who is mainly a stage performer, not really with her foot in any particular genre, more of a stage show. But here she is really funky, I have to say that. Although I didn't know that much about her before I found this, but I've been reading up on her quite a lot since then. It's issued on a label that I've never seen before. It's called H&L. It might stand for Hugo and Luigi, and it's from 1976. Yeah, that's about it about this one. Well worth having. It wasn't expensive either. The last records that I purchased, I'm going to show you now, I haven't bought them at the Runtrunt store. First of all, I finally got hold of a copy of the Kinks or the Village Green Preservation Society, one of the most famous Kinks albums, and I haven't had it up until now, but I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and I have to say I've heard all of their material from the 60s now, not that much from the 70s and after that, but from the 60s. This is my favorite album from the 60s. This is a reissue on the Sanctuary label. It is a mono pressing, and that's very nice because 60s pop should be played in mono, as we all know. Then 2 albums with the French electronic pop duo Air. I've been listening more and more to their records lately, although even back when they had their big breakthrough in 1998, I think, with Moon Safari and Sexy Boy and stuff like that. I've been a great fan of them, although a very passive fan. I've heard their tracks on the radio, but I never really bothered getting hold of their records. But now they are being reissued on vinyl, and then I thought, well, bit by bit, I'm getting their discography. And this is then 10,000 Hertz Legend from, I think, 2001. Yeah. And this is, what's it called? Pocket Symphony, yeah. Pocket Symphony, and it's from 2007. I'm not a fan of electronic music based mainly on synthesizers, but I like the feeling of Air, the way they have some sort of one foot in the 1960s and the French yeah pop, and some sort of foot in the modern music with modern synthesizers and stuff like that. And I like the way they make really good atmospheric music. I've been looking for a vinyl copy of the record where they made new music for this, the George Méliès movie, Journey to the Moon, I think it's called. I've seen it and I've heard it, and it's really, really good. I guess it's available somewhere on vinyl, but I haven't tracked it down yet. As you all may know, of course, there are CDs, there are Spotify, there's Spotify too, there's streaming music, there's everything, but I really prefer having it on vinyl before I listen really deeply to it. But yeah, so right, and the final record that I'm going to show you. Oh, this is another one that I've got on the Runtrunt store. I didn't know that much about this album, but I'm very happy I found it, because I'm a great fan of the singer and songwriter here, Loudon Wainwright III, and this is an album from 2012 called Older Than My Old Man Now. So of course it's a record about getting older, about aging, and I'm such a big fan of his lyrics, well, his songs too, but mainly his lyrics filled with humor, and it also always have some sort of edge. They are never really sloppy, his songs. Very, very good quality. Still a great singer and songwriter, even though he's been making records now for, well, I think it was in 1969, 1970 when he made his first album. That's one Loudon Wainwright, the third album that I haven't found his very, very first one yet. But apart from that, I have most of his albums either on vinyl or on CD. So that's the last record this time. I hope you all have a great time wherever you are, whenever you are, and hope to see you soon again. Bye for now.